Welcome to Confessing the Faith, a theological and devotional walk through the 1689 Baptist Confession of Faith. I am your host, Sam Waldron, pastor of Grace Reformed Baptist Church in Owensboro, Kentucky, and president of Covenant Baptist Theological Seminary. Today, we come to consider chapter 16 of the Confession, which takes up the important subject of good works. As we take up this subject, it seems necessary to me to remind ourselves of the confusion which reigns over the subject of good works in our day. On the one hand, there's the ongoing tendency of the human heart to find in our good works the ground or instrumental cause of our salvation. On the other hand, there is the tendency of the so-called free grace movement to fall far short of what the Bible teaches about the importance of good works. Extreme and unqualified statements are not hard to be found on this subject, and this makes me very glad for the sound, faithful, historic, and orthodox guidance of the 1689 on this subject. Paragraph 1 begins this teaching by speaking of the norm of good works. We might also say that this paragraph speaks of the identity of good works. As we read it, you will see that it is first positively stated and then negatively stated. Here's what it says. Good works are only such as God hath commanded in his holy word, and not such as without the warrant thereof are devised by men out of blind zeal or upon any pretense of good intentions. The supreme rule or arbiter of good and bad for mankind is the will of God, not mankind's good intentions, as the confession implies. Practical or working knowledge of this will can be found only in God's holy word, Psalm 147, 19 and 20. Such truths require us to concur with the assertion of paragraph 1 that good works are only such as God hath commanded in his holy word. The scriptural proof for both the positive and negative assertions of paragraph 1 is extensive. Micah 6:8 is a classic Old Testament support of the positive statement. He has told you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. 2 Timothy 3:16 and 17 provides New Testament support for the fact that good works are only such as God hath commanded in his holy word. It tells us that the scriptures are profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, for training in righteousness, so that the man of God may be adequate, equipped for every good work. The negative assertion of the confession is also very important in our day, and not, it says, such as without the warrant thereof are devised by men out of blind zeal, or upon any pretense of good intentions. Isaiah 29:13 is clear. Then the Lord said, because this people draw near with their words and honor me with their lip service, but they remove their hearts far from me, and their reverence for me consists of tradition learned by rote. It is quoted in the New Testament in Matthew 15:9, but in vain do they worship me, teaching as doctrines the precepts of men. In general, good works are those which conform to the law of God as revealed in the scriptures. We'll look at that more when we get to chapter 19 on the law of God. More specifically, good works are concrete expressions of kindness and generosity, especially of a practical and financial kind. Many passages here define good works as what we might call charitable works. John 10:31 to 33, Acts 10:38, 9:36, many other passages. What a rebuke the serious study of these scriptures administers. Our spiritual anemia is revealed in the rarity of our practical and financial expressions of kindness, which the Bible calls good works. The spiritual perversion of many professed Christians in our day is also revealed to the Jews. A good work was washing your hands when you ate bread. They had their man-made checklist. Men love this mentality. They have an eagle eye to the violations of their rules, but are blind to compassion and good works. The ironic thing is that the most critical and mean-spirited people on the face of the earth are often those who pride themselves on their conformity to a man-made checklist of good works. The spiritual blindness of many professing Christians is revealed in their violation of biblical duty in favor of that which they esteem to be a good work. They were raised, as I was, in churches with the 5 naughty no's. Some of them were not violations of Scripture at all. Some of them might have been a good idea. But these were not the main things according to Scripture, and they were not good works as scripturally defined. How often Christians have justified serious neglect of family responsibilities by the supposed good works of their self-appointed Christian service. How often women have violated the Scriptures in doing the good work of preaching and shepherding the church, but in violation of Scripture, of course.